And welcome to everyone, and welcome to Game Beyond the Game. Let's talk that talk, inspiring conversations with professional athletes where we inspire our audience as we explore finding vision and purpose in life and discuss tools to overcome life's transitions. I am Darren Peterson II, your MC, and we're joined with founder Game Beyond the Game, Prince Daniels Jr. Prince, how you feeling today? What's happening?
Man, feeling good, feeling great, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? You know, man, I'm super blessed. I always get an opportunity to speak to another incredible athlete, man. Along my journey, I had a chance to meet this incredible athlete, and he has a story to tell. A great guy, and he's going to share his story, and it's going to allow for him to inspire other athletes that are looking to make that change in their life. So I'm blessed, man. Thank you.
Awesome. More than welcome. Without further ado, let me introduce our special guest. James Thomas Lee is a former NFL offensive tackle born in Belle Glade, Florida. He later went on to college at the University of Georgia and later transferred to South Carolina State University, where he received a bachelor's degree in family and consumer sciences with a concentration in early childhood development. Lee originally entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent on May 1st, 2008, when he signed with the Cleveland Browns. On September 1st, 2008, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers claimed Lee off waivers, and he recorded his first NFL season start against the Arizona Cardinals in 2010. He has a tremendous heart and has always made it a priority to give back to his community. In 2009, Lee started the James Lee Children's Initiative to strengthen the lives of children in Belle Glade through academics and athletics. Since 2010, James Lee has hosted the Mug City Fest, an annual football camp aimed at introducing more positive activities to the community. He has also participated in various community events with the Tampa Buccaneers organization. Due to his commitment, the second Saturday of June was proclaimed the James Lee Day on June 12, 2000. You got your own day? Okay, no. In Belle Glade, Florida. James Lee currently resides in Tampa, Florida with his wife, and he is a God-fearing and family-oriented man, as well as a proud member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. Q Psi Phi. Mr. James Lee. How you doing, James?
That was nice. That was
nice. So, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful, Tuesday, Wednesday?
And right? All the days are good. It's Tuesday. I told you, man.
Just get up and grind, man. But no, I'm doing well.
That's all right. The sun shining all on your chest.
Hey, it's hot in Florida, man. 94 degrees out here.
It's hot. I'm not going outside.
So let's hop right into it. Football, NFL offensive tackle, charged with protecting folks, and I would consider one of the hardest positions in the NFL. You could tell me different or tell me how difficult that position is, but why football? How did you fall in love with football? How did it become, let's say, part of your means to your journey?
Well, I mean, growing up in Belle Glade, football just became a way of life. You had so many guys before me that kind of paved that way for us. So many of the guys that grew up in Belle Glade, guys like Riedel Anthony, Fred Taylor. We got a long list. J1 Sider. So the list goes on. And so as a kid, you see all these guys that you grew up and you see them on TV. On football, and then they come back and they show love to the community. They ride fancy cars, and it's like, man, if I could take the same path, go to college, and I can make it too. And so by then, I think we're in that top 3, I would say, in the world where the most NFL athletes have won high school. So it's like, you see it continuously over and over and over. It's almost like every year somebody's getting picked in the NFL draft. So this becomes a way of life, and you're like, okay, well, I got to get out of here. Football is it. Sports is it. So you want to go to college, and then you go through college, and you're like, hey, I'm here.
Nice, man.
Amazing. What was the point where you knew, wait, I'm good enough? I think I'm going to make it. Was there a moment in time that hit you like, this is it?
I want to sit back and say probably around my junior year.
College or high school?
College.
Okay.
Like I knew, like high school, it was like you see so many people that go on to play. Like I said, we have, like for instance, we had 22 D1 athletes scholarships. 22 signed players to go to D1 my junior year. So it's like we have the athletes go, but it's like, do they eventually go on and play in the NFL? Out of that class, you had 3, which was Ray McDonald, Santonio Holmes, and what's the old boy name? Whatever. But it's a way of life. And so, like I say, my junior year in college, I realized I'm like, okay, I'm good enough. And then I started to really sacrifice certain things to make sure that I continue to do what I needed to do and then to go on and make it.
Wow. So, man, you mentioned 22 players that signed D1. And then out of those 22 players that signed, only 3 made it to the NFL.
Yeah.
What do you think was the difference that allowed for them to excel beyond the collegiate level, and make it to the NFL?
I mean, honestly, the crazy part about it, we used to have NFL scouts at our high school practices.
Ooh.
Like, it's that crazy at Belle Glade. So,
okay.
It's just, I mean, it's crazy. So you have, like I was actually had a conversation with somebody not too long ago. Out of those 22, I say a third of those were back at home before December.
Oof.
Because either homesick, got kids, got somebody, like whatever the circumstances may be.
Right.
So it's like, I look at it, for me, it was sacrifice.
It wasn't even their talent that kept them from going next level. It was all these other elements.
Of course, yeah.
Were sacrificed.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think what do you feel like you sacrificed that could help, let's say, younger athletes that are trying to make that transition to Belle Glade? They're watching you now. What sacrifices are they going to have to make?
Well, like, I see guys now from my school that are, in college, and I don't sit back because everybody's different. So for me, I'll tell you, when my junior and senior year, I sacrificed drinking liquor. Drink no liquor. I didn't go out. I was like, honestly, if I sacrifice this, I'll be able to do all this, what they do now, later. And so I'll say probably the last 3 years, I reach out to cats on social media and like, look, you got a big year coming up. Like, what is it that you're willing to sacrifice? Because I can't tell you what to sacrifice, because beforehand, I can give you an example. So we had, when I was at Georgia, I had a guy by the name of Odell Thurman.
Yeah.
Right. So, but Odell would go out every damn night of the week.
Right.
And get and drink, and he would go out and then he'd be playing defensive player of the game. And I thought that I can do that. And it didn't work for me. So literally after, it took me 2 years to realize, like, this ain't it. I can't go out on Thursday night and get messed up, wake up, go to class, and then be ready for Saturday. So literally I stopped drinking liquor. And I saw my game get better and better. I was able to focus. I was able to do a lot more stuff than I was able to do prior to.
Wow.
Wow. So you mentioned
that young guy has to figure out and be in tune with himself to understand what's my weakness. Where am I when I'm at my best? What am I doing? And what is it that's bringing me down? Because you want to bring yourself down. Nobody don't, like, I can't tell you, like, all right, man, hey, you stop smoking. Like, somebody tell me that, like, hey, you stop smoking, you can go play, so you can play again. I'm like, no, I'm good. But you have to understand what's best for you.
Right. Right. No. So you would say that it takes a high level of discipline to be able
Of course.
to get to where you need to get
Of course.
to.
Well, you know the numbers. We
Yeah.
force in the same position.
Right.
You have to have, the numbers are small.
Right.
So how are you going to separate yourself to be in that number?
Mm.
I came from a D1 AA.
Yeah.
Granted, yeah, I played in Georgia, but literally I came from my description don't say Georgia. It says South Carolina State. So my college description. So it like, yeah, I did, but I'm coming from a D1 AA. So now I'm fighting against every O lineman that's in a D1 position that got the same dream. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to the league.
Right. Right. I'm
training. I'm a bitch 225, 35 times.
You overcame all those things, and as we understand it, you go in undrafted. I know I've heard Prince ask this before. Is that one of those situations you're like, yeah, what am I still doing? What do you mean undrafted? Did you have a chip on your shoulder? Was that something that set you back mentally, mostly at one point? And if so, how did you push through it to achieve that first start we talked about in your intro?
I mean, I think honestly, you always go in it because it's just a mindset. Like, I don't care if I went first round, you got a chip on your shoulder. So, but I mean, it's in you. Like, you just gonna work, you're gonna bust your ass, and you're gonna get your job done. So, going in, it was just like, I went in a great situation. This is 08, so 07, I think they end up with Bray Quinn. The Browns gave up all these draft picks to get Brady Quinn. So they didn't have no draft picks in the first 3 rounds. So literally, our draft class was small, and they drafted wide receivers, corners, and like D linemen, no O line. So literally, that was like a perfect scenario for me. So I went in and I sat behind Joe Thomas, and I just learned.
Okay.
It was the perfect scenario for me.
Congratulations on that piece. Because what it seems like, often there are players that are playing behind folks. What advice do you have for those folks who feel like my time is now? What's something that you can offer to them to say, hey, like, just pull back, chill, and while you're here, do this?
I mean, at the end of the day, you work on your craft. Because at the time, like I said, I sat back. I mean, I got in the league in 08. My first year, I played in one game as like an extra tight end. My second year, I didn't play one game. I didn't play no games. My third year, I remember like it was yesterday. We had 4 minutes, 19 seconds left on the game. We were on a drive to go win the game. We down by 4. The third play of this drive, my right tackle gets hurt. I've been standing on the sideline the whole time. I'm cheering them on like, hey, let's get this done so we can party tonight. And my man laid out on the ground like, you better go in. So I'm sitting there like, all right, this is what I've been waiting on.
Game time.
3 years in, this is my opportunity. Boom, I lock in, we go win the game. We win the drive, we score, we win the game. I'm happy. So patience is everything, man. You never know when your time is gonna come. Mario, I mean, literally, I was a swing guy, so I knew how to play left and right tackle.
Yeah.
My left tackle was Donald Penn. I think he got some kind of record for starts. Like, I think he started like 11 years straight and he didn't miss a game. So if I was still sitting right behind him, I would have never played. But just having that, being able to play both sides, but it's patience and being ready when your name is called.
So it's so true when they said patience is a virtue.
Oh, hell, yes.
Yes. That's awesome.
It seems like there's a lot that you picked up, and just going to jump to this, in terms of you have the wherewithal and the understanding, like, let me be patient. Were you always patient? And if not, let's go back to junior high school. James, any advice you give that, James, based on what you know now? And feel free to answer both.
So, we can go back to high school, but when I got patience came, I think, within that first year. Because what happened in Cleveland, like I said, with the scenario that I was in, Joe Thomas is Joe Thomas.
Right.
So they let me kind of just run basically the whole preseason. So I had gotten used to playing. And so when I got to Tampa and I was like, literally wasn't even dressing out, I was like getting frustrated inside because I was like, I didn't know how I go. Like, you got your 53, but your 46 dress, and like you just gonna sit on the sideline and eat peanuts.
And sunflower seeds.
Right, sunflower seeds. I didn't understand that until like week 5. It was like, why are y'all in me? So
you active, but you inactive.
Yeah, I'm active, but I'm inactive every week. So that was the way I actually learned my patience. High school, that was something, a whole different game. Like, I was on varsity as a freshman playing D tackle, and we go to state championships, and we did our high school team was just crazy. So, but my patience really came in that first year of my NFL season, where it's like, okay, but let me work on what I need to work on because I need to be ready when my time is ready. My time gets called.
Wow, congratulations on that piece. And is there anything, from those transitions, what would be the most difficult part of those transitions? Obviously, you went high school to college to the league. Is there a moment where you're like, whoa, this is, or overwhelmed? Or was there any part of that made your transition difficult, or even for the league, to being retired?
Oh, man, it was transitions through it all. From high school, leaving a small town in Belle Glade, we got 13,000 people. They're going to Athens, Georgia. Like, on some real, I had never seen that many white people in one part of day of my life. So I was like, okay, like, what's going on here? That was a transition. Transferring from Georgia to South Carolina State, that was a transition. You don't have the handouts, and you don't have the resources. You don't have the connections. You don't have the money. It's like so many things that go on that was like here and here.
Right.
You get through the transition, boom, bam, bam. Then it's like I had my daughter my senior year, another part of transition. Then going into the league, you go out not only that I'm trying to live a lifestyle, a dream that I want to live, but now I'm being a father. So that was a transition. Like, okay, now I'm a grown man, I think.
Right.
So it's like, but still through the process of fatherhood, trying to make a career. I had never worked a day in my life. So I'm like, I got a child to feed. So this gotta go. So like add it all up with like, okay, I'm glad I didn't drink these last 2 years. So I can put some on film so I can go make me some real money.
Right.
It's always, I think you never stop honestly transitioning. Because you always go through different phases of life where your sight sees the world, yourself, your spouse, whatever, in a different form. And you just kind of work your way around and figure it out.
Wow. So it seems like you have like a common trend. You actually reflect on like your transition and then how to adjust to your situation that you're faced with and all your responsibilities. Is that right?
Of course, yeah.
Nice. So what would you tell someone? Would you tell them, because, I'm big on meditation. So it's all about, it's about reflection, but would you tell a younger guy or your younger self, like reflect on your transition, sit back and be patient, like understand this. What would be some of the advice that you would give your younger self or other athletes?
I would sit back and honestly say, you know, the whole saying, like, trust your first gut. Sometimes we as now still as grown men, like, we know what's good for us and what's not bad and what's bad for us.
Right.
And I think a lot of times, even, and not even just saying like good and bad, but even on an opportunity that you may come across that may like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think from our first instinct, we know, is this going to be a good deal or it's going to be a bad deal? And sometimes those good deals kind of like, for me, it's like I didn't jump on it when I wanted to, but I should have, but it came at the right time. So just telling my younger self is just like, trust yourself. Like, you are who you are and you know who you are. So do what you know how to do. And not second guess like what it is that you already know.
Right.
But sometimes we can let certain things play in our mind and it's like, well, I need to wait this first and do it, try to like that whole ducks in a row. But a lot of times what's meant for you is going to align properly anyway. So you just kind of like take that first step and go for
it. Right.
Amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. So I know you've had a number of transitions, right? So, and then there's obviously from pro football to what I'm seeing right now, cigar porn.
Oh yeah.
What is the significance? Where did it come from? And how has it continued to elevate you, present day?
So this is crazy, man.
And what is cigar porn? Like I see you representing. Is that somebody else's company? Is that
this is all me?
Okay.
So basically, what happened? After I was smoking cigars while I was playing, and so once I retired, I really got a little bit deeper into it. Starting to get into going to cigar lounge, just sitting around guys. I'll tell you a funny story. So I moved to Charlotte after I retired. And so I'm working for Merrill Lynch into this like financial training deal. And so I go to a little cigar lounge and they like, man, you're a big guy. I'm like, nah, man, I wish I played. God damn, man. So I just went to South Carolina State, that's it. And so months go by, and I'm talking about this one dude. He's steady at. He's like, man, well, you had to play ball somewhere. I'm like, I ain't playing no ball. And one day, Brian Leftwich comes in there. This is like 9 months in, and he's like, "What's up, James?" So I go chop it up with him. Like, how you doing? Da 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 da. Because we played together for the Bucks. And so they were like, how you know him?
This dude came and blew it.
It didn't dawn on me. I've been lying to these because I wanted them to accept me for who I was, versus trying to be like, oh, you just got to playing out of NFL. And be on some like, it can go different ways. So I wanted to be accepted because what I learned is in the cigar industry, that these became the most genuine people that I would be around. Everybody had their own industry. I mean, from just entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, contractors, whatever it may be, they just want to come and have a cigar and vibe after a long day of work and tell some lies and talk mess or whatever. So I wanted to be accepted for me, not just by this NFL player. And so that was kind of like, you've been lying to us. But it was, at that point, it had developed many friendships in there. And so it was all good. So after doing that for a while, it was like, I wanted to find a way to get in the industry. But I didn't want to sell cigars because it's like 1 million cigar brands out there. And it's like, especially with athletes, we kind of throw our name on something and just kind of run it. But basically, did some research and found that there was a niche where you can create a brand for yourself and put it out there and people will buy it. Mm. And so doing my research, it was like, man, this is dope. I was using the hashtag, starting to post my cigars on Instagram. And one day I did a pre-sale, man, like a week pre-sale. I had like 40 some orders come through. I'm like, I may be on to something. So after that, man, things started rolling, brother. And here we are now. We just finished like early September, our third year. And so it's been truly a blessing.
Congratulations. What makes cigar porn special? Let's say you mentioned there are other brands out there, but what is it you are outside of branding? Because the branding is amazing. So, what makes, cigar porn special?
I'll tell you this. So we created this. So if you look at this logo, the word porn is always in somewhat a bright color. We started it with just the color red. This was like our first shirt we came out with. And what red does for you is red makes you stop. It's what our mind knows. And so a lot of people look at this t-shirt and don't even realize that the word cigar is on top of it. And they're like, porn? What kind of porn you got going on? And so it's like, then you break it down to it. But what I did, I created it for, it was like, I wanted a way for people that love cigars to be able to express their passion for cigars. Mm. So just like food porn and whatever other porn you want to put on top of it, it's all there. But it's a conversation piece. And I've had so many people come to me and just like they've met some of the most great people in their lives at this point through my brand. Because it started with a conversation like, what does that mean? And they stop and it's a conversation and they realize they have something in common. And next thing you know, it's history. I mean, it's something created there that they continue to stay in contact or become friends or whatever it may be.
Yo, congratulations on that. You'll have to let us know how we can order some of those. So just throw that out there. Love it, man. Absolutely. Yo, what's some of the best advice you think you've received, throughout your journey? Are there a couple things that have really stuck with you that have helped you, again, through all these, regular transition or these very vast transitions? And I do want to say earlier, you said that life is a continuous transition. So I certainly appreciate that. But yeah, what's some of the best advice you think you've received?
I've received a lot of advice. Now, depending on what you...
Well, give us your best three. Give us your best three.
Three advice. So I'll never forget one of my mentor, Tony Jones, played like 14, 15 years in the league. And I just had my daughter and I'm going, he's like, listen, bro, if your house ain't right, you ain't right. Mm. And so it was like, what you got going on at home, you make sure you handle that at home before you get back on that field because it will show in your play. Mm. And so that was one thing that I always kind of like made sure no matter what, my house was good. And to this day, even though I'm not playing, it's like your house ain't good. You go out into the world, and I'm like, man, what's wrong? Not like that.
Why am I crying?
That's some good advice.
Yeah, no, that was kind of one. Two, my mom. My mom always told me, when you're doing something, you think about the pros and the cons. Mm-hmm. And you got more cons than pros. There's something you don't need to be doing.
Something that's,
So that's one that she told me that as a kid. And it was just like, do I want to do this? Let me see. How many cons? Nah, I'm straight. I'm going to go over here. Third,
That's solid.
It's John Gruden. He's like, man, we all are grown men. Nobody don't ask you. No one's gonna ask you to do nothing outside of your job. Just do your damn job.
Hey.
And that's always stuck with me. It's like, depending on where you're at in life, like what your job is. So, like, again, you have to figure that out. And I know like what my job is, and I do my job well. So if that's in me being a husband, that's me being a father, that's me being a business owner, or me being just a student, to whoever, whatever it is that you kind of create for yourself. Whatever your job is, just do your job.
Nice.
It's like what can we? You can't actually do more than that. Just do your job.
Right.
Don't worry about everybody else's job. Just do yours. Okay.
Yeah, that's some solid advice, man. And everything that you mentioned definitely molds you to become the best version of yourself, man. Because in the end, in life, that's what it's all about. Learning how to become the best version of yourself. Right. And having the right people around you, so you can have some of that advice in the back of your head, like you said. Pros, cons. All right, hey, I gotta go, y'all.
I know the pros of it. I got more cons, and I gotta go.
Gotta go.
That's funny because the pros are kind of built in. Like, well, there's no way to do this in the first place.
The pros are already there. You can do the pros before you even started trying to do it.
Right.
Okay, God, how many cons I got? Yeah. It is. You fucked.
You know, with more than 5 cons, it's a wrap. No matter what. No matter what.
Hey, y'all, I gotta go home. My mama said I gotta go, y'all.
5 cons looking me in the face right now.
Right. Yeah. Oh man. To our audience, hey guys, if you have any questions for our guests, please #ask. Put it in the comments. We'll make sure that we will highlight those comments and answer them for you. So go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So what's next? If let's say, what are you working on personally and professionally? Like, are there things you're like, hey, this is where I see myself. This is what I'd like to do over the next 6 months to a year. We could say that, on either side of the road.
Honestly, I got me and Prince talking a week or two ago. And I'm at a point now, it's like, because prior to this, like, I was all over the place. It's like, man, I didn't know where I wanted to be, what I wanted to do. And it was just like, you tell me you got a friend that's helping some business. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get with you. Like, I gotta get on. But now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, man, I found my niche. And so I can honestly, I'm not all over the place. I'm in one spot. And it's just to create this brand and like take over the world. It's like, if you go in a cigar lounge, you need to have a shirt on for me. That's representing the culture. That's representing like, hey, I love cigars. That's just like, hey, I want to be a part of this movement. Personally, it's always going to be growth with just becoming a better husband or a better father, a better friend, to even doing this, to reach out and touch my teammates. And it's like I said, I just had a conversation with one of my teammates like a week ago, and it's funny like how we can sit back and listen to each other and tell when something ain't right. And I'm like, dog, like, tell me what's up. He's like, nah, I can't talk right now. I'll holler at you later. He ended up hanging up the phone. It wasn't even a week later, he called me back and I say hello, and he just went to going in. And I knew something went right with you. So on a personal level, it's like, man, I'm in a place at peace, and I would love to see like my brothers in that same space, because you never, like, we always together and a happy-go-lucky, like we all partying, celebrate, we win, we stand, we lose, whatever. But at the same time, we all in a grand space now where it's like, the fame ain't there, all the money ain't there. It's like, okay, what's important? So, personally, like, man, bring my brothers on to be in that, have peace, happy.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Because we actually did speak about it, and it's a lot of guys that try to soak in their own pain and misery.
Oh yeah,
and it's hard for them to ask for help. You know, like how do you make yourself readily available to give help, or do you just kind of have patience? You sit back and just like, hey man, if you need to talk, you leave it open for them. If you need to talk, I'm here. And maybe their mind start generating thoughts, and they'll say, okay, I finally have somebody that I can go to speak to this about this. But a lot of times, most people are always like, man, I ain't trying to share my information with him.
Man, we all are like these he-mans. It's like, like we physically and mentally have been through war 10 times.
Right.
So it's like, to be so mentally tough and to be so vulnerable, it's like, how can you be both?
Oof.
So it's like, me as this mental tough guy, like, you had them cats that's like, hey, I go run through that brick wall. They like, get it and go. No, it's like, for them to take that hat off and be like, man,
yeah,
I need help.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you? Not even this, like, or whatever it may be. Right. So it's like it's hard where to be you known for one thing and then you come back in years later, because we all were. We're all not the same guy we were when we buckled up and like, all right, let's go.
Right.
Totally different. So it's like certain people tend to want to keep that same sight.
Right.
This is who I am.
That same persona. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Bro, honestly, none of us ain't that.
Yeah, correct.
Right. I couldn't slap nobody right now.
Right.
If he hit me back, we got a problem. So it's but it's hard to. I mean, like I said, I've been there too. Like I said, man was talking. Man, we used to chop it up. This was 5 years ago.
Right.
It was like, I didn't even know, bro, when we were playing. We played together, but we just connected and we vibed. And man, we would sit back. He put me on to the meditation, and we were talking about. We were both like, I ain't gonna say the word, but man, we were sitting back, just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. I don't know where to turn. This job ain't it. God. But we used to drink it out and have a cigar. We gonna come back to the bar and talk about it again. Right? Yeah. 5 years later now, we can joke about it, and it's funny, but we were in that position.
Correct.
Literally.
Yeah.
What it seems like is your ability to be, again, transparent and vulnerable is really the key to happiness and overcoming the very things that may haunt someone from day to day. So that person might be watching you, let's say on the field play on Sundays. Like there's really very little difference because we are humans. And sometimes people forget that human element, like dealing with the same struggle as everyone else is.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It don't matter if you made this amount of money or this amount of money. It's like you're going to go through that transition and those issues and those problems just because we're human and we all on the same road.
Right.
It's just a cat may be 5 miles behind me and another cat may be a mile or a couple feet in front of me. And it just all depends on where you at. But we all on the same road dealing with the same issues. It's like, okay, I done passed the anxiety. They go to the depression exit. All it like divorce or whatever it may be, a child support, or like, man, I can't find a job or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Y'all done been there.
Right.
Running out of money. Like, I don't know where I'm gonna live. So we all on that same road, but we just gotta communicate and be willing to ask for help, and we'll be willing to receive help. Because if I wouldn't open about certain scenarios, it's like, how can you receive help if nobody don't know?
Right.
Everybody on social media like, hey, like I'm living this grand life, like we drinking good and we smoke, like everybody, it's a celebration.
Right.
Nobody ain't talking about the failures and the obstacles that they going through.
Right.
Us, you may have some person that's online like, oh, I don't know, but it's like we ain't doing that for real.
So true, bro. So true.
Right. Everything they want, the exciting part about it, but it's like as soon as they post that pic, it's like, man, this shit sucks.
Right? That's not the life that I'm living.
Yeah, I've seen people get their phone and be smiling like, and then as soon as they take the picture, go back to misery. Like, it's possible that we're all guilty at some point, and learning that you don't have to.
You don't do it for if you got 10 followers or you got 10 million. You're trying to please somebody.
Right.
And it's so funny because people will say, oh, no, I'm not into that. I'm like, if you're on social media, you absolutely are. And that's okay. But just understanding how you use it as a tool is what's important, because otherwise you wouldn't be on there if there wasn't some kind of connection on the other side.
Of course.
Exactly. So, Jay, man, we get into the end of this episode, and I just wanted to ask you, man, like, what are some of the important things that you tell your family members, that you tell your daughter, in growing up? So many things that's going on in the world. It's like a lot of chaos, and it can be traumatic for a lot of young African American kids that's roaming around these streets. What's some of the advice that you give to her to make sure that she can navigate through all of this unknown and uncharted territory?
I literally had a conversation with my daughter on Monday.
How old is she?
She's 12. She'll be 13 in about 2 weeks. Like literally that brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
The biggest part of it is making her understand, like, life is easy for you right now. Like, it's very easy. And you got a few years, like, it's about to get real for you in a very short span. Because just in the era that they're growing up in, it's so difficult to separate yourself from being a fucking follower or a leader. And it's like, you got choices. As a young lady, like my daughter at 12, like 5'5". Her little titties, and like she a big girl. She's a tall girl. And so it's like, you got a few more years left. And you got it real good. You got your mom, you got your dad, and your decisions today predicts your future.
Right.
So, like, you and these cell phones and these TikToks and these Snapchats and all that, like, you gotta watch it. Because you got a few more years before life gonna slap you right in the face.
Yep.
And so it's hard talking to her because, for one, she is a young lady. And as a man, it's like we can be very strong and come up hard. Right. And I'm like, man, you got to give it to them the real. Like, yeah, you want to be soft with your daughters and all that, but at the same time, like, dog, the world ain't soft on nobody. Who you is, how old you are, like, it is real out here. And so that's the most important thing I try to put on. Is like the same thing, those pros and cons, your choices. decision making you make, like it predicts your future. Like, what do you really want to do with your life? Because there's kids out here that's creating themselves futures of like none other, like going to college at 15 and 16, and it's some that's going to jail at 15 and 16 for life. So where do you want to be? And it's hard conversations, but it's like, if I don't have it today with her, it's like, you can't talk about I missed out and had it when she make a bad decision. So it's like, I'll be hard on you now because you'll be 13, she'll be 13 in 2 weeks. In 5 years, like look at where we were 5 years ago, and look where we at 5 years now.
Right.
So 5 years from now, she'll be 18 years old.
Exactly.
And it's like, where you going?
Right.
You gonna get you a job at Burger King, or you gonna go to college?
Yeah.
Or you gonna like, what is it that you really gonna do? You gonna stay around here in Tampa, or you gonna go better yourself in some form of fashion? So it's like trying to prepare her and understand, like, yeah, you got a good upbringing and all that, but I'm here for you, but you got to create your own. So I created mine.
Yep.
So it's like making them understand now, it's like, ain't nothing going to be given to you. You got to earn it.
Nice. So, yeah, right. Thank you for that, man. So you're saying prevention is better than the cure?
Oh, of course.
Most definitely. Well, you have it, folks. There you go.
And actually, what you reminded me of again is almost a callback to sacrifice. You know, when you were a player and knowing what you were willing to put off then to enjoy the fruits of your labor now, and helping young folks understand that, like, it may all seem like it's glitter and gold, but actually sacrifice some of that stuff right now.
You have to, because talent is, everybody got talent. Everybody. It's how much work you willing to put in and how much you willing to sacrifice.
Go.
Period.
There you go.
James, thank you so very much. Prince, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
Man, my final thoughts was, this was amazing. I'm definitely looking forward to it, guys. I mean, he dropped some jewels. Make sure that you go back. If you didn't get a chance to watch this live, go back and see it from the beginning, because you're going to have so many tips and so many jewels that will be dropped on you, and you need to apply them immediately to see if they work, because I guarantee you, when people share wisdom, you become wise when you apply their knowledge. So keep that in mind.
Heck yeah. James, any final things from you? Again, what was the website in case there's someone watching that may want to, get some of those amazing cigars?
Cigarporn.com. CIGARPXRN.com.
Oh, man. That was a commercial right there, baby.
Yeah, it was. Put that on an ad. Put that on an ad.
You got to do a voiceover, man.
Yeah, we going live, man. Hey,
done and done.
Right.
Yo, man.
It was fun, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, man, we did too.
Appreciate you to the fullest.
Like I told you, Prince, man, this is a blessing.
Yeah, man.
Even to sit back and have these conversations now.
Yeah.
Different side of the playing field.
Right.
Where we was like sitting on the couch. You ain't want to cry, I ain't want to cry, but hell, he was like deep down inside. He was like, damn, dog. I feel your pain.
Right.
Now we can laugh about it. It's like, all right, we good. We
Exactly. We're living testimonies for other players as well, man. That's why we have this platform to, teach them and show them that, there's always a way. And you always got a shoulder to lean upon. So, you got to make it start somewhere. Let that pride go and become amazing. Remember the individual that you are and how you got to this point. And it was from some of those same skills, what you were talking about, the pros and the cons, just understanding what we want out of life, and just understand, do your job. You do your job and everything else will work out. So, man, great advice, great tips.
Amazing, James. And we absolutely hope to have you back at some point. And officially want to say thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
joining us, for dropping the jewels that you did today and sharing your story and being so transparent. And for those of you watching, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page, Game Beyond the Game. You can join us here next week on Game Beyond the Game's Facebook page live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so very much and continue to be the best version of you. Have a good one, y'all.
All right.
Peace.